This man is drunk. Wait, am I drunk? I'm nobody. Yes, you do have a problem. God's got this. No, I got this. You're stupid. You're dumb. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a son. I'm a leader. I am Marcus J. Scott. I'm Marcus J. Scott, author of The Drunken Preacher, here to encourage critical thinking, social awareness, advocate growth, resilience, provide hope, and help you find faith. Welcome to another edition of the Drunken Preacher Podcast. I am Marcus J. Scott, and I'm here alone this week, but I really want to dig into something that I believe affects all leaders, CEOs, people who are in charge, people that the average person looks up to. And so I want to talk about preaching through the pain. Preaching through the pain. Now, this isn't just for like pastors or people who actually preach, but that can be a teacher, that can be a leader, that can be a principal. I mean, heck, that can even be a parent. You know, when the messenger needs a message. You know, how about that? When the messenger needs a message. You know, I really want to be vulnerable with you guys here, and not that I'm not open, because I'm open quite a bit, but you know, a lot of times we see people talk about things that they've gone through like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago. But what about what they're going through right now? Yeah, see, very few people talk about when they're going through the struggle. And when I say very few people, I mean leaders. Leaders rarely talk about, I'm going through something now and it's painful. I'm hurting now. I'm you know, my faith is somewhat being challenged. I'm questioning God now. You know, it's usually 5 years ago, yeah, I was questioning. 5 years ago, 2 years, yeah, I was going through. But I'm going through something now. And so I want to share with you that I'm going through some financial challenges now. And how is it when you're supposed to be a preacher, a teacher, a minister, especially someone who says you love and trust God, and then you begin to have some financial challenges? How can I tell somebody to give, tithe, help somebody else, and I'm struggling myself? What do you do? What do you do when you need the message? What do you do when you're supposed to be encouraging to others, but you need the encouragement? You know, sometimes that's challenging. And so going through some financial challenges myself right now, you know, I've been praying more and fasting, and I've just been asking myself, you know, God, I really need you. I really need you. And so God said, well, I need you to give more. I need you to tithe in another ministry. And I'm like, but I'm already hurting. I got bill. I mean, I can barely pay the bills that I have now. I overextended myself in certain business areas. And while I'm in the middle of the transition, it's a struggle. And God, you want me to give more now? You want me to do something more of where I'm already hurting it? Has God ever asked you to do that? Has anybody ever asked you to do that? You're already hurting in an area, and somebody wants you to do more. They want you to give more. You're having problems at home with your family. It's hard for you to get to work, and your boss asking you, can you work more hours? It's already hard for you to get from point A to point B, and instead of coming 3 times a week, they want you to come 5 times a week. It's already challenging for you now because the boss, the pastor, the leader, the person in charge has already got you doing 2 assignments, and now they just ask you to do 2 more. And you're already struggling with the 2 you have. You're already struggling with what you're going through at home with your family, and you're being asked to give more. And so God said, yeah, I want you to give more. I want you to tithe more. So let me get this straight. God, I've been praying, asking you to bless me open up the windows of heaven, pour out blessings. I'm tithing like I'm supposed to. I'm praying like I think I should. And I'm asking you for help. And you're saying give more? I'll say this. A lot of times the way God does things doesn't make sense. A lot of times when God is moving and when he's telling us to do something, it doesn't make sense. At least it doesn't make sense to the average person. It doesn't make sense a lot of times to the person he's giving the instructions to. You know, he tells, Abraham, go and take your only son and sacrifice. Wait a minute. You want to tell me the only one I have, you want me to take him up and sacrifice him? This the only one I got. That don't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Wait a minute. You telling me I'm have all these kids at 100 years old? I'm now going to have this great nation? That doesn't make any sense. A lot of times when God tells us to do something, it doesn't make any sense. And so here it is. I'm sitting here. I'm in a financial transition. I'm barely making it. I'm struggling. And not that I'm poor or broke. I'm not. But just from the businesses and the things that I've had, making a certain amount of income, and then all of a sudden it's cut back. And here it is. I'm trying to shift in what I'm doing. And God says, give more. It doesn't make any sense. Is God asking you to do something that doesn't make any sense? Is God asking you to do something that doesn't make any sense? And so as I begin with this shift, I prayed, I asked for guidance. I'm in my word. I talked to some pastors. I talked to some financial people. And I decided to trust God. And here it is that right before me this week, or I should say this past week, God has begun to open up doors. Now, my financial situation has not changed and didn't change and will not change overnight. But I can already see the blessings that will be coming. Because God won't let you outgive him. Now, it might not be finances in your situation. It might be you're going through something, and it might be family related, but God wants you to pour into somebody else. And you're like, how can I pour into somebody else and I'm having to take care of a family member? I'm having to take care of a parent, a loved one, a sibling, a child, sick child, a friend. Somebody just had death in their family. You're supposed to be trying to take care of somebody, and God is asking you to take care of somebody else. He's asking you to do more. He's asking you to spend more time doing something else, and you're like, I don't have any more time. You're already doing the things that you need to do, but he's asking you to do more. You're like, I'm already praying enough. I'm already doing this enough. And he's asking you to do more. It doesn't make sense. And so what do you do when the messenger needs a message? What do you do when the messenger needs a message? I would offer this advice. Every pastor needs a pastor. Every CEO needs a coach or someone that they can talk to, a counselor and a coach, to help them filter through what they're going through. Everybody needs a person that's on the outside that can see them in a 3D situation, that can see the full court. I'm often reminded of Michael Jordan. And when Michael Jordan came to the Bulls, Michael Jordan, the ball was in his hand. He scored all the points. He was playing well above everybody else, but he had no championships. And all of a sudden, he got Phil Jackson. And Phil Jackson, and Michael Jordan tells this story in the documentary, Phil Jackson came and was trying to take the ball out of his hand, trying to rearrange the offense, played as a team. Why? Because he could see the full court. He could see the full court. And so some of us need to be leaning on some coaches, some other leaders, some pastors who may have gone through what you're currently going through. Teachers. There's some other teachers that are currently going through what you're going through. Oh, well, Marcus, I don't have none of those problems. I'm retired. There's some people who've been retired longer than you that can help you navigate with new retirement, a new transition. Maybe it's a new career that you're trying to look into, and you're just not sure. It's not making any sense. You want to move forward, but it's challenging. How do you move forward when you're the messenger? How do you move forward when you're the leader? Maybe you're a parent and you're trying to raise your kids the right way, and yet God is telling you, I need you to help somebody else with their kids. I need you to help somebody else with their situation. I need you to help somebody else with their family, and you're struggling with your own family. You're struggling with your own kids. You're struggling with your own grandkids. You're struggling with whatever it is you're going through. And God is saying, I need you to do more for somebody else. What do you do when the messenger needs a message? What do you do when the preacher's going through the pain? I'm sure that you're going through something right now. I'm sure that there have been some challenges right now. And I don't know who this message is for, but God is saying, I just need you to trust me. I need you to do more. I know it's a struggle. I know it's painful. I know it's hard. It's challenging. And you probably can't even see being able to do it. Whether I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the energy. And some of you might even be saying, I don't even have the know-how. And God is still telling you to go. What is it that you're supposed to be doing? What purpose are you supposed to be fulfilling at this moment? What do you do when the messenger needs a message? Well, my message to you today is, I'm your messenger. I'm the messenger for you today. You've been given your message. You've been doing what you're supposed to do. You've been following what God has told you to do. And maybe you're unsure. It's getting cloudy or it's getting heavy. And God is saying through me this morning, today, or whatever time that you're listening to, I'm the messenger for you today. I'm the messenger for you today. You needed to hear this. If you're listening to this, you needed to hear this. God is saying, I need you to trust me. I need you to trust me. Do more. Give more. Pour into somebody. Pour into that person you're supposed to be pouring into. And trust me. I know it's challenging. I know it's difficult. You know what? You know what's so crazy? You know, as Christians, we read these Bible stories, and a lot of times we're okay because we already know the outcome. When we read about David and Goliath, we already know the end of the story. When we read about Joseph and his brothers turning on him, we already know the end of the story. But in those moments, they didn't know the end of the story. And so I'm sure that you're going through something and you don't know for a fact the end of the story. You can't see tomorrow. You can't see next week. You can't see next month. And so it's challenging. But when we talk about these Bible stories, when we look at the Bible stories, we're like, oh, just like David and just like Joseph and just like Job, all he lost, but he got it back. But yet we don't trust God with that same level of trust that we're reading about and teaching about and speaking about in the Bible. Because we know the end of their story. It's kind of like watching a movie. You know, you ever seen a movie 2, 3, 4 times? You know, you already know what's going to happen at the end of the Matrix. You already know what's going to happen at the end of Superman, the original Superman. I don't know about any of these new Supermans or new Batmans, but you already know what's going to happen at the end of the movie because you've seen the movie before. You've seen Super Bowl 50 and 51 and 52 or whatever number that was last year and the year before. You've already seen those Super Bowls. And so you're okay if you already know the answer. But what if you don't know the answer? What if you don't know the outcome? I'm reminded of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. When they went before the king, they said, God will deliver us. Yeah, God will deliver us from the fire. But even if he doesn't, and so I'm going to tell somebody today, who's listening to me, even if he doesn't, you need to have a even if he doesn't spirit. You need to trust God that much that you have an even if he doesn't spirit. I'm your messenger today. What do you do if the messenger needs a message? What do you do when the preacher is in pain? I'm your messenger today. God wants me to deliver this to somebody today. Just trust him. Do what he asks you to do. Be obedient. Pour into that person. Give more. Give more of your time. Give more of your finances. Give more of your finances. Listen, that doesn't negate blow the rest of your finances. I still have to be a good steward over the small portion that he allows me to manage. Yes, I'm supposed to give more to the church. Yes, I'm supposed to give more in what he asked me to do, but I still need to manage the rest of what he allows me to be a steward over. And so that doesn't negate any other principle. But give more of your time. Give more of your finances. Obey God and then trust him. That's my message for you today. You as the messenger who needs a message. You as the preacher who might be feeling some pain right now. Maybe you're struggling through with your church family. Maybe you're struggling with your family at home. Maybe you're struggling through with your children or your grandchildren. Maybe you're struggling at your job. Maybe you're struggling with some stuff that's happening and you're having to get up every week after week and still give a word. You're still having to get up every day and be the supervisor on your job. You're still having to get up every day and be the teacher at the school. You're still having to get up every day and be the coach they need you to be. You're still having to get up every day and be the person that they need you to be, the parent they need you to be. You're still having to get up every day and you're in pain, you're hurting, you're frustrated. And God says, I need you to be obedient and trust me and still do more. All right, that's my time for today. Hey, listen, we got some great guests coming up, and here coming up soon, I'm going to have my mother on talking about from her perspective on watching her son go through what I went through in my struggle time, in my struggle with my drink. So you don't want to miss that episode. Always stay tuned. We're here every Monday morning at 5 a.m. Every Monday morning at 5 a.m. I appreciate all of my listeners, subscriber, and my family. Make sure you share, subscribe, and like the Drunken Preacher and my YouTube channel, Marcus J. Scott 4040. Marcus J. Scott 4040. We're going to have some great things coming up, and I'm going to have some special things coming up only for my subscribers, only for people who have subscribed to my channel. So make sure you share and like the channel. We're going to be doing a lot more coming up here within the next year. I got a special surprise coming up, so stay tuned. I don't want to give it away yet, but I got some things in the works, and I almost want to break the news right now, but we're going to wait. But continue to stay tuned, continue to stay locked in, follow me, share with a neighbor, share with a friend. Somebody needed to hear this today. Somebody needed to hear this today, and somebody in your circle needs to hear this. So share it with them. That's my time for today. You know how I always end the show. Always have a heart of gratitude and the strength to keep moving forward. God bless you.
It's your time. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. 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 Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. The drunken preacher. Yeah. The drunken preacher. Yeah. 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 Yeah, yeah. It's your time. It's your time. The drunken preacher. The drunken preacher. The drunken preacher. The drunken preacher. The drunken preacher.